Rise and shine, change makers. This is Glen Guyton, keynote speaker, workplace trainer. It's time for our executive coffee break. I've got my beverage in hand. Hopefully, you have yours too. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your coffee, tea, or kombucha, whatever you're drinking, and you can choose your workplace culture. A vibrant workplace is all about the perfect blend of trust, diversity, and wellness. Well, today, let's get into it. I want to talk about artificial intelligence, AI. How does that impact our workplace culture? It's something that we have to think about. Artificial intelligence, AI, represents a shift in the labor market. Two things happening at once. I heard this at a conference, so I didn't come up with this, but it was really interesting. It means it's a shift in technology, right? So great technological changes happening, and also this cheapening of labor, right? So AI does two things. It brings in some technological skills, which impacts labor, and then it also brings in this affordability, right? You can do things cheaper, faster, because of AI, and that's going to impact your workplace culture. One of the things that if you follow politics, you heard in the political world, we were worried about some people were worried about immigrants coming and invading the workforce and taking all the good jobs, right? And I said early on, we don't need to worry about immigrants taking our jobs, because the jobs that immigrants typically do, low skilled immigrants typically do in our country, we're not trying to do those jobs. We're not trying to work in some of the areas of hospitality. We're not trying to work in the agricultural industry. We're not trying to work in some of these meat processing plants. So those are lower skilled jobs, very important jobs, but lower skilled jobs. Uh, so what about these other jobs, medium skilled jobs? What about creative jobs? Many of those jobs are going to be replaced by AI, not by uh, not by immigrants, because AI isn't to the point. I know is a video on YouTube, a AI video on YouTube about this robot uh, harvesting wheat. We're not at the point yet, but technology actually has changed some of those things. So technology such as farm equipment and things like that, we need less laborers, but we still need laborers. But I'm going all over the place. The thing is that AI is replacing people in a number of roles, and so instead of hiring a graphic designer or an editor to proofread your paper, you may be using something like Grammarly, or you're using Canva. We're using all of these other tools to create things. AI can even draw images. As a matter of fact, I use AI to draw an image that I'm going to use when I post this video on YouTube. So you'll see it. It's a beautiful cartoon version of me. I'm going to use that for my thumbnail. And so it's a shift in the workplace, and so that means people will be getting a little nervous. Will be wondering what they need to do, and so it can impact our workplace culture. This is why I want you to think about it. We have a very narrow view of what we think about when we start thinking about belonging and inclusion and employee wellness. What are the things that are going to add stress in this work environment, and what are the things that are going to impact our people, right? Impact our ability to be competitive in the marketplace, impact our ability to drive innovation in the marketplace. Well, I love me some AI. I do. I love me some AI. I think I was born for AI. I think when the Lord created me, He was like, Glenn, one day there's going to be this AI, and you're going to excel using it. You're going to do so many more things that you want to do because of AI that you couldn't do. AI allows me to be so much more creative, right? I have a lot of ideas going in my head, and AI just allows me to take that next step. I don't have to wait on anyone. I can move things forward. And if you have creative people, and I'm not trying to be boastful, but I do think I'm pretty creative. If you have creative people in your workplace that may be limited by this skill or that skill, like I can't draw, right? I can't draw, and so AI allows me to create some imagery that I've had in my head. It gets it out there for me, and it does it quickly. So what do you need to do in order to stay competitive, to stay innovative, and really keep those good creative people in the workplace. So I'm going to give you 5 tips this morning. I like five. It's a good round number. Five. It's not an even number, but it's a good round number, whatever that means. So, couple of things I want you to think about in the workplace culture, and you're going to need some people to help you with this in your workplace. If you aren't the techie person, don't be afraid of AI. Look, I don't know why people are afraid of AI and this technology. Yeah, like any other tool, you have to use it effectively. You're going to have to create some new rules around the ethical nature of it. You're going to have to check your work. You don't just let the AI do your work and you not check it. You have to vet it. All of our work needs to be vetted. So uh, I'm gonna give you a little. It's kind of a religious story. So the Bible, right? Wh- when the when the Bible was first like mass produced, you don't even have to be a Christian to understand the story. But when the Bible was first mass produced, people were afraid, uh, basically, that the priests weren't going to have a role, right? The priests weren't going to have a role because now you have these ordinary people getting the Bible, right? So technology allowed the printing press allowed people to have access to this religious document, the Bible. Before it was just you would have to go to the priest. The priest would tell you, "Hey, this is what the Bible says. I'm going to read it for you. You're not educated enough. You're not smart enough. You don't have access to this all this knowledge that I have, right?" And you had to have the monks writing stuff out, writing out the every scripture hand by hand. But now, hey, with the printing press when it came on, hey, we can just pop out those Bibles. Everyone can get a little word if they want it. And so anytime we have a shift like that where people have more access to information, people get nervous. The powers that be get nervous. So I don't want you to get nervous though. I want you to be cool as a cucumber. I want you to take this opportunity to to grow and to drive and to have a more innovative team. I mean, just think about uh the priest that embraced the Gutenberg printing press and said, "Hey, this Bible thing is kind of great. I'm gonna I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna make sure all my members have it. I'm gonna have the smartest congregation ever." So there was the group that said, "Hey, we're so afraid. We don't want people to have access. We're gonna burn it. We're gonna keep our churches hidden over here. They're not gonna know anything." So, which group do you think prospered? Which group do you think excelled? So, I want you to excel. So, I'm going to give you. I'm going to get back on track right now. I'm going to give you 5 things to think about when it comes to AI and how you can use it to drive innovation and transform your work culture. So, number one is invest in digital transformation. Embrace AI. And I'm doing that with some teams that I lead. Embrace AI. Invest in this. Encourage your teams to do things smarter and quicker, so that they know so that they can spend time on what's important. So invest in digital transformation. Make sure you teach them about AI. Make sure you start setting policies and procedures for uh, how these things going to work. That's actually number three for me. So let me jump down there. I'm going to jump to number three is uh, implement inclusive policies, craft workplace strategies that mitigate AI's potential to widen inequality, ensure opportunities for all employees to benefit from these technological advances. Many of us started using AI in the HR search process a while back, right? We started using it to read our resumes, and then we were saying, "Hey, these blind resumes are free of bias," and they aren't. Why? Because someone had to program it. Uh, Everything has a bias because we've programmed that bias into it, or we've left out data, which what creates a bias. That's what bias is, right? When we don't have all the facts and we start making judgments, that's bias. And so if we leave out data, leave out facts, then AI can be biased. So technology can totally be biased, and it's not doing it because it hates you. It's not racist or prejudiced. It's biased, right? Because it doesn't have sufficient information to make uh, the appropriate choice. So make sure you have your policies in place once you start embracing this digital technology. This is again number three. I could have told you it was number two, but it's number three on my list. So implement inclusive policies and policies. Think about the things that you need to do when you're embracing this new technology so that it's balanced, it's equitable when we're getting the right technology to meet our needs. So number two, develop a skilled workforce. Once you embrace this technology, people need to know how to use it. And if you are invested in your team, again, this is again part of belonging. Employee wellness is investing in the skills of your workers. Let them know that you care. Let them know that you have interest in their long-term success in the organization. Um, some colleges may not like this, but I do think that training our own workers may be the way to go. If colleges, these brick and mortar institutions, aren't willing to adapt, we need to find better ways, more efficient ways to train our workforce. So we need a skilled workforce. We need them with a we need our workforce to have a pretty narrow set of skills, based on our industry. And so going and spending 40, $50,000 a year to go to college isn't going to be for everyone. And you may want to invest some of that time and energy in your internal workforce. Have training programs so that you can give workers the skills that they need. All right. So number three was we talked about implementing inclusive policies. Number four is yes, prioritize the ethical use of AI. So again, this is part of adopting the right guidelines for your work, making sure people are using AI in the right way. They're not just cutting and pasting everything, but they are spending some time to vet sources, to do some additional research. I've used AI for some research. I've asked it to give me some ideas about things, and then I go and research to find the actual sources, read through the sources, and so AI has helped me speed up a process. It didn't replace me doing the work that I needed to do to vet the materials that I was using. No, it just sped it up. I said, hey, can you give me some ideas for this? List some sources. I look at some of the sources. Some of the sources were good. Some of the sources weren't relevant. Uh, Through that search, I found other relevant sources for the material that I needed. So AI can speed up the process. I know some of you all are more comfortable looking through that card catalog. I don't know how old you are. Remember that card catalog? You had to look through the library, the Dewey Decimal System, and all that stuff. Now, hey, you just ask AI. Number five, a plan for future workforce needs. This is again one of the things I'm going to keep saying to you, and I've done some work as a futurist, is that we need to look toward the future. I need you to be a visionary to think about your future needs, and maybe AI can help you sort through that. I actually do use AI sometimes to help me look for data, so to scan information to find out what trends are currently in place and maybe some potential things on the horizon. And so um, plan for the future. Think about these things. So, what's the next technological advance that we're going to have to pay attention to in the workplace to have an effective workplace? And again, we can bring a lot of people in. The one good thing about AI, I talked a little bit earlier that it can have some bias in it. There are some studies when one camera maker was setting up his technology. It didn't do enough data on Asian faces, right? So with the iPhone, and so it could not recognize when some Asian people looked at the camera. They thought uh, their eyes were closed or they were blinking. Because why? Because it wasn't enough data. Like the people that they used to form the algorithm had a distinct physical characteristics of their eyes. And so if you don't put in the data from a wide variety of people, then the camera could not recognize is that people from a different uh, ethnic background had a different facial structure, different facial features that could impact the outcome, that the desired outcome. And so it can be biased if we don't go about it right. But it also can level the playing field. It can help people to uh, gather data better. It can help people give people greater access to information that they may not normally have. So AI can level the playing field in a lot of ways, but we just have to get people trained uh, and let them know how to use it effectively. So, thank you all so much for this today. Hopefully, you are embracing AI. It's not going to kill you. It's not like the Terminator. We're not going to go on these time loops, but AI can really benefit your organization. It can lead to more productivity, more innovation with your teams. So, just five things that I said: invest in digital transformation, uh, develop train your workforce, implement inclusive policies when it comes to AI, prioritize the ethical use of AI. That's number 4. And number 5, put your futurist hat on, plan for your future workforce needs. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me this morning as we say goodbye for today. Let's not forget the strength and perseverance that it takes to lead with empathy and inclusivity. To every one of you leading the charge for a more supportive and engaging workplace, know that your passion fuels progress. So stay bold, stay inspired, and let's keep brewing success together. Thank you. I'm Glen Guyton. You all have a wonderful day.